one of my obviously biggest heroes growing up. I think you're about like 10 years older than me. I watched you play when you were at your peak. I think like 1999, about that time. I was like 12. So I think my love for Adidas started with you. I like wanted to wear everything that you wore, even though I was a girl. It was hilarious. So, but anyways, I thank you so much for being here. You honestly, for me and my family, you were part of our afternoons, part of our nights, watching you play. I mean, we watched you play many, many times at the Miami Open, and I think I watched you one time, I believe, at the U.S. Open. I don't quite remember, but it was exciting times. I mean, you obviously were one of the best tennis players in the world, so that's it's pretty cool to talk to you, and so I thank you so much.
No, thank you, Laura. For me, it's also a pleasure. So nice to see you. Also, you know, we in a way related with your family, with your brother, and with Colón Núñez back in Miami. So such nice memories from those times too.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're gonna talk for a little bit your tennis life and basically how you saw it then and how you see it now. So why don't we just start with like how your relationship started with tennis?
All right. So I started with my father playing at the beach. You know, with the wooden rackets. I don't know how you say it in English. Paleta, you know.
Paletas, wooden rackets,
paleta,
yeah.
With the wooden rackets. So that was when I was around 4 or 5 years old. And then it was also my dad who took me for the first time to a tennis court when I was 6. And from then on, I just loved it. I just loved it. Every single day, every weekend, I was begging my dad to take me to the club, and he also loved it. So we had so much fun. That's how it all began. Then I took my first lessons with the club's coach when I was like 7.5. Then started competing at 8, and then, you know.
And then you just were too good. You couldn't stop. How so was Giovanni the same age? Not the same age. I know he's younger, but how much younger is he? How many years?
He's 7 years younger.
Oh yeah, so he's way younger. Yeah. So he started because of you, maybe?
Yeah. Well, he started because actually he started earlier. Giovanni, with 3 years, when he was 3 years old, he was already hitting the ball amazing, and so I was already playing national championships and local tournaments. So the whole family will travel around the country or around the state, you know, for tournaments. So the whole family and my brothers and sisters, that was our life.
It was a Lapentti affair. There you go. They all went together.
100%.
That's really cute. So when did you first realize that you had potential for this? Like, how did this, why? Was it the results? Was it you just realizing this as a kid? Was it your parents? Like, how did you know you were good at tennis?
I mean, I was, when my second year of under 10s, I started winning the local tournaments. So I was one of the top players in the country. And then when I was 14, I started winning some South American championships. And so then I realized I was at a good level in South America. But it wasn't really till I was 17 or 18 that I realized that I could play professional. Those times were different. You didn't have too much information, you know. So nowadays the kids, when they are 14, they know everything. At that time, you had to go like one step at a time. And so I was playing some satellites at the time, and then play some challengers, and then played my full-time juniors until my last year of juniors when I was 18. And then that was when I really realized that I could play pro, because I did pretty good. I ended up the number 2 in the junior world ranking that year, 94. that's how we chose that I could give it a try.
I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of people would have chosen the same thing. But tell me, so what was your? I know that as a junior, so your biggest title was the Orange Bowl growing up. That was a good title for you. Was that an indication that you were good, basically not internationally?
Yeah, that year I finished the year winning the Orange Bowl. Also that year I made it to the semis of the French Open and US Open Juniors. So I had a pretty solid year. Also in doubles, I won a couple of Grand Slams, and that's when I really realized that I could play some pro. I actually was trying also to go for college, and then that year after the US Open, I signed a 2-year deal with Pro Serve. At that time it was a management company. So with my father, we said, okay. Yeah, so with my father, I said, okay, let's give it a try. Let's play pro for a couple of years, and then if you don't do good, then you go to college.
Yeah, and that decision was very easy after you started playing pro. You did very well. So tell me, just thinking about your junior career, your years and how you did, and all the work that comes with it, and the sacrifices. Like if you have to look back, like, did you always dream to be as successful as you were, or was it something that just kind of happened?
I dream, of course, of being a professional tennis player. I dream of playing a Grand Slam. I dream of playing Davis Cup for my country, but I don't think I ever dream of becoming what I did. So it was actually a huge compliment. It was huge emotions for me when I started doing well and going up in the rankings and winning tournaments and play well against the top players in the world. So when you're a kid, sometimes you just want to have fun. At least that's how I look at it at that time. I wanted to have fun. When we played the COSAT, which is the South American Championships, it was all about having fun. So many friends. It wasn't too competitive, I think. Nowadays, I think the people, when they go to the juniors, they're already thinking of being professionals, or most of them. In my experience, or the life that I went through, what it took me to become a tennis player and to give all the effort that I gave is because I loved it. Because I had so much fun. It was my passion. And maybe nowadays the kids, they are at an early age, they want already to be pros, and they put too much pressure on them. And so sometimes it's not only passion, it's just the desire of being a pro, or wanting to earn money. And so the main goal is not to play good tennis. The main goal may be something else. And sometimes that it can take you through the wrong path. And so I think definitely when you're a junior, I mean, you have to have dreams, 100%, and you need to set, and you need to set some goals. But the best thing is to have the passion. And if you see nowadays, the guys that are leading our sport, Serena in women, Roger and Rafa and Nole in the men, I mean, they've done so many things. They won so much money. They won so many titles, and they are there because they love the game.
That's right.
That's it.
It's interesting, right? Like how we go through life just wanting something, but at the end of the day, what truly matters to get there is truly the love for tennis. And it's like you said, I mean, I had so many sacrifices. I did so much work, right? And one of my questions is, like, was it always enjoyable for you? Or did your effort kind of waver at times, and why?
I mean, you always go through tough times. When you're a kid, especially being from South America, and you have to travel and go to North America or go to Europe. You have to stay away from your family for a long time. So I remember the first time I went to Europe when I was 17. I stayed for I think it was something like 8 or 9 weeks, and I was really tough. But then I learned a lot from that experience. And then when you're playing good and you have a lot of confidence, things go well. And then when you're playing bad and you lose 3, 4, 5 first rounds and your confidence is not good, then those tough moments are always there. And you need to have the right team, the right support from the people that really love you, that really want the best for you. I think one of the things I did good through my career was a good listener. So I always listen to my team, always trust the process, trust my coach, and that helped me a lot to go through the tough times. Because normally you have much more tough times than good times.
Yeah, I agree with that. And why do you think you were a good listener? Why do you think that separated you?
I don't know. I think it's just personality. Since I was a kid, I remember my dad taking me to the tournaments when I was 8, 10 years old. And he wasn't a tennis player. He used to play basketball. So he was an athlete. But he was taking me to the club, and he was talking to me. You have to play like this. You have to attack his backhand. You have to be patient. You have to do this and that. And I was always listening. And then on the way back, if I won or if I lost, he always, analyzed the game. You did this right. You did this wrong. And I always listened. So I think it was just it's just a personality, the way I was since I was a kid.
Yeah, there's only one Nico Lapentti, so that's why. So during those tough times, like, what coaching philosophies kind of stayed with you? I mean, you already expressed, obviously, your dad. I think your dad played a big part in you as a person, as a player. But what coaching philosophies do you think stuck with you?
Looking back at my career, I learned a lot of positive things from all my coaches. The one that helped me more and I had the most success was with Pato Rodriguez. With Pato, we were together for 7 years, and those were my best years. And Pato, he was a great coach, but he was like an everything, like a psychologist, a father, a friend. So he was giving me advice in everything. He could give me advice on my forehand. He could give me advice with my family. He could give me advice with my girlfriends. Everything. So he was more like a how you say, a life coach.
Yeah.
And all those things together, he tried to get in your head. So he will always work on your confidence. And I think that's the thing that helped me the most. His philosophy, of course, was work hard. I was always a hard worker. Lots of repetitions. He loved to spend hours and hours on the court and work on my head. You are good at this. Your forehand is good. Your serve is good. Your backhand is good. Everything was good. So you start believing it. And once you win one match and you win 2 and 3 and you do a few weeks in a row, you have good results, you believe in yourself.
Was your family really involved in picking this coach, or you were already older? Like, how did you start with him?
My family was involved the whole time, but when we picked Pato, it was through the agency, through ProServe. Pato used to coach Andres Gomez. So there was a relationship. Andres also helped. And I mean, it was my decision, but also my family was involved, and actually it wasn't, we didn't have to think much about it. When they offer it, I mean, we all agree right away.
Nice. Do you think that if your family, so obviously family believing in you is it's a big thing, but do you think that all these years of your family truly believing in you was a big part of your success?
100%. 100%, because it was from the beginning. You know how with the parents traveling from the junior tournaments, then starting the first stages of professional tournaments, and then even on the ATP tour. I mean, they try to go with me as much tournaments as possible, and the support was always there. I mean, when I was already 30 years old, they were still thinking that I was 15, you know, and trying to take care of me like
very Latin style, no?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So, and yeah, but I loved it. I mean, the support from my family was very important through my career, and I think they were very smart on in the way of handling me. They never put pressure on me.
Can you explain me that? Why do you say that? How were they smart handling you?
Because well, I think my father, being an athlete, you know, and playing basketball, he knew how competition was. So he always pushed us, but never put pressure. He was always pushing to doing the best things, to practicing, and trying to give him the best advices. But he never said bad things when I lost a match, even if I had a match point. And he was never angry when I lost a match. So he was always trying and talk to me and try to analyze why I lost it. And or if I wasn't in a good mood and I was practicing bad, or if I didn't want to go to practice on a certain day, there was never that kind of pressure. And I think that's very important. I was after I retired in 2013, I was president of the Ecuadorian Tennis Federation. And one of the things that impressed me the most was the parents. The way they put pressure on the kids, and lots of coaches too. And those were one of the things that impressed me the most.
But in that position as the president, how involved were you with that? Like, how involved could you get with that?
No, I got really involved. Actually, at the beginning, they told me, no, don't worry, a couple of days a week, half a day, and that's it. And once I was elected, it was almost a full-time job. And you know, when you have the discipline that you get when you become a professional tennis player or a professional athlete, then when at least my way of thinking, when anything you do in life, you want to do it the right way and you want to give 100%. And that's how it happened to me with the federation. I mean, I was spending almost full-time job, and it was very difficult because our federations, we don't have enough money. There are not many things that we can do, you know, in developing new players, and it's tough. But it helped me understand the way of thinking, you know, how the parents think, how the coaches think, and also the mentality of the Ecuadorians.
And what is that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, all the parents think all the parents think their kids are the best. If they lose, it's because it's your fault. You know, because the schedule, they scheduled to play first, and it was too early. If you scheduled to play last, it was too late. If they play on court 10, it's because they didn't play on center court. So there's always an excuse, and I think the kids listen to this, and they believe it's true. That's not nice. And then also what happens in our countries is that once those kids get to be 15 or 16, they need a lot of money to travel.
So in terms of the federation, do they have education about college at all, or is it just kind of like that thing that it's like if you're not good enough or you don't have money, go to college, or is it a path that you guys take?
Actually, most of the guys or most of the parents is what they want, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know in the back of their heads that that's where the kids are going to go, but at the same time they think they are the world champions. So I think once they are 16, 17, they realize they haven't done very good at South American tournaments, so they realize that college is the best option.
In terms of parents and coaches and players, what's your I mean, you saw it all. You saw it from when you were a player, you now are a parent. I'm sure you've coached before. I'm sure you know the relationship between the parents, coaches, and players. Like what do you think the best most healthy dynamic should be? Like, should the parents be making all the decisions? Should the coaches be making all the decisions? Like, how do you see this?
Well, I think until a certain age, of course, the parents have to be involved, because of course the kids, they cannot make a decision. They don't know what's right for them, and at certain, it depending also on the coach, you cannot give them just the liberty or the authority to choose and do what they think. But I think at a certain age, the players need to get involved, and that's what I think that most of the mistakes are making, because the parents, they don't do the right choices. They think the kids already can play pro. They don't go through a process of just learning or practicing or developing. Just working on the technique, and then just working on fitness and getting strong. They want to go right away and get the results. So if you don't have a good advice, that's not working. It's fair to say also that it's not easy, you know.
No.
And now I'm a parent. My kids are young, but I have a 5-year-old boy. He plays soccer, so he have already played a couple of soccer tournaments, like local, nothing big, and parents go crazy. I mean, the parents go crazy. They get involved. They yell. I mean, it's like they're playing a professional tournament, and that also helped me understand what happened when the kids grow. So I stay calm. I stay behind. I let my kid listen to his coach, to the trainer. But most of the parents, they're all coaches. They want to they get involved, and then you realize that those kids probably when they're 12 or 14, they don't want to play soccer anymore.
That's
They're
what
gonna be
happens.
tired.
It happens a lot. I mean, I think parents need to understand how big their words are to their kids and how much impact they have. I mean, that's basically all they know growing up. I think your kid's lucky to have you behind him, and obviously no sports.
And I'm telling you, it's not easy. I mean, when the love you feel for a kid, for your kids, it's completely different, and you want to get involved. But I'm lucky that I compete, that I know what it takes, and I try to stay, just to let him do what he has to do. But I understand also that for some parents, I mean, it's impossible to handle it.
Yeah. How big was it for you to have your brother too be really good in the ATP tour? Were you guys traveling together?
Yeah, we did. Nice to have your brother close to you when you are far away from home. We spend very nice times also playing Davis Cup for Ecuador.
Yeah, I remember.
to share those moments with a family member is just priceless. And Giovanni, I mean, he had so much talent. He has so much that his technique was good. His serve was awesome. I mean, it was a pleasure to watch him play when he was a kid. He was so confident in himself. He had great, when he was 14 or 15, he was coming with me in some tournament, and he was practicing with the pros. I mean, it was crazy.
Where did you guys train growing up? Like, you went to the States only or other places?
No, I went mostly to the state, mostly to Florida. So when I was 16, I went to, when I was 14, I went to Delray Beach. I practiced a few times with Enrique Andrade. Then when I was 16 till I was probably 19, I was going to Colón Núñez's place. At the beginning, he was in Largo, close to Tampa. Then he moved to Miami, and that's where I spent most of the time.
Nice. Those were good times. I still remember them.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. It was lots of fun, lots of hard work, and so it was a great combination.
I wanted to ask you, growing up, how hard was it for you to combine social life with tennis and everything that you were doing?
Well, it was definitely a sacrifice, but I love tennis so much that that sacrifice, in a way, was easy. I mean, of course, I missed a lot of parties, a lot of things with my schoolmates, family, like birthdays or Christmas or anything that all my family was together. We are a big family. We're very close together. But for me, those sacrifices, I love tennis so much that in a way, was pretty easy.
So you could say that playing tennis, the force that drove you to play tennis, it all came from you, or did it come from somewhere else?
Well, it came from the support from my family, of course, but also the desire that I had to play tennis and to practice and to travel and to improve. So I think it was all the combination of all that.
Nice. You were talking about, and I was still thinking about it when you were with your coach. You were saying how many things he was for you. What do you think the best dynamic for a coach and a player is? Like, do you think that's the right way for a coach to be with a player, or does it depend on the player? Like, what do you think about that?
I think in general, there might be a way of doing it, but I think every player is different. So coaches have to to find out the way of how to really get to the player's head. Just an example in my family, with Giovanni and I, the same things that work for me probably don't work for him. And so coaches need to know how to talk to the player, when to talk to the player, what things would work for him that wouldn't work for another player. So I think that's one of the most important things that the coaches, they have to really know how to read the player they're working with, and just go from there.
Yeah, I thought that's probably one of the most fun things for me as a coach. It's to kind of get to find out the way that player will pick. I think that's one of the coolest things. So with your brother, did you guys ever play against each other, or no? I didn't really check.
Once, and it was horrible because it was actually at our hometown challenger in Guayaquil.
Oh my God!
And we drew to play each other in first round, because it was a packed stadium, but no one was cheering. Everybody was quiet. like nobody wanted to cheer for one or the other. So
Right.
it was a horrible situation. I mean, I wanted to win, but I always wanted Giovanni to win. I mean, it was
I
not
mean,
a nice
he's your
experience.
younger brother and 7 years younger. I mean, that's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. And it was not nice. It was not nice, but it was the only time we played each other.
And who won? Did you win?
I did. I won. We both played horrible, and I ended up winning like 6-4 in the third set.
Complete struggle, emotional struggle.
Horrible. Yeah, 100%.
Tell me, is there one thing that you can think about your pro career or just really through your entire journey through tennis that you think it's essential to share? Like something that you learned that you're like, I learned this through tennis just because it's special about tennis in my career. What do you think?
There's a few things, First, I think when you become a professional tennis player, you learn discipline. You learn so many things at an early age that I think has helped me in my life after tennis. And discipline, sacrifice, persistency are one of those things. So nowadays, whatever I do, I still, have those things behind me. And then also it helps you learn that nothing in life is easy, that you have to work hard to get it. And actually after tennis, that I have been involved as a businessman, it's actually even more difficult, I think. It's a different thing. It's a new atmosphere for me, completely new experiences. And but in a way, all that I learned in my tennis career has helped me, to get through this new stage. But definitely those things that I said before, to work hard, to have a lot of discipline in everything you do in life. And another good thing that and one of the best things that I remember or I have from my tennis career is my friends. All the people that I know, that I met through my career, and that is priceless. I can say, just thinking right away that I could probably, in every single country, have someone that I can call, or I have someone that I know, or a friend, and that's very nice.
Yeah, it's incredible. You would be surprised how many people I've talked to of your level, and not one person says that they remember their titles. They don't tell me that. I mean, they remember them and it's a great memory, but it's not the first thing they think about. They tell me it's essentially how I evolved as a player, as a person, my friends. Everybody mentions the friend. Everybody mentions international friendships. It's really incredible. It's I find it so cool.
Yeah, because it's the truth. I mean, and for example, in all this we're going through, in Ecuador and my hometown, the situation was very difficult, and I was really impressed in a good way how many people, like close friends or not so close friends, that just text me to see how I was doing. And so it's really nice, to see that you can count on so many people from all over the world.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. So because there's a lot of misconceptions about what the pro world is and what really being a pro means, to young kids or to even coaches that don't, are young, or families that are young in the journey. So what can you say about what being a pro and being out there really means? What is it?
Well, I think it's a full-time job. definitely. Of course, it's nicer than probably other normal job because you're playing a sport, you're doing what you love, and that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But one of the things, maybe the greatest misconceptions that people think is that they think that you're always traveling and you're always having fun and you are always in a different city, and one day you're in Miami and the next day you're in Rome, and then you go to Paris and London. And when you tell people that you've been to Paris 12 times and that you have not been to the Louvre, and then you think you're crazy. But in a way, it's because you are there to play tennis. You are not there to do tourism, and that's how what we were talking before. All the discipline and the sacrifices that you do when you are a professional athlete are those things. And I think probably that's one of the things that people believe the most, and they're wrong.
Yeah, nice. So, and anyways, this has been great. I don't want to take too much of your time, but the way I kind of finish this all the time is the person that I'm talking to, they tell me just either one or two mottos. Do you know what a motto is? Like just a quote or a phrase that you live by. What do you think?
I'm gonna repeat it again. One of the mottos I use the whole time is that nothing is easy. I mean, you have to you just work hard to earn everything, and like a lot of sacrifice, lots of practice. I was always a hard worker. But one of the mottos that I like the most, and I feel that how you say that I'm related to it, is the one that Babrinka has in his arm. So it says, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail again, fail better."
Yeah.
So that's really nice. That's really nice, and in a way that happened a lot through my career. Always, try harder. If you fail, try again. Fail better, but never quit. That's one of the most important things. And I have to tell you something that you probably don't know. I don't remember the year. But it was in Miami, and my younger brother, he went to Virginia Tech, and there was this football game between Virginia Tech and the Miami Hurricanes. And so we went to the game. So we're sitting in the stands, and they call your name, and they were giving you an award. So we were sitting in the stands watching. I mean, we got tickets through Virginia Tech, so it was a Hurricanes game, and so they call your name, and you walk on the field to receive this award.
Wow,
yeah, so
that's so cool. I'm getting
that
red.
was what? That was maybe 2010, 2011.
2011. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, Nico. That I'm gonna remember this for forever. I wasn't expecting this. That's so cool. So yeah, that was they were celebrating. I believe it was the Honda Award. That's what it's called, and it was for the best player in the country. But that was my last year. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice. I thought you were gonna say that you watched me play or something, a really bad match or a good match. I don't know.
No, always good memories. Always positive.
Yeah. It was so good to watch you play. Oh my God, I still remember. You were such a hard worker. I mean, the legs were, I'm sorry, but the legs were unbelievable the way you ran. I watched you play one time in Venezuela. Did you play a Davis Cup there? Like against? Yes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you did.
Yeah,
you were
very tough one.
Yes. Were you playing against? Who were you playing against? I remember.
I play against Simansky and Jose de Armas, I think, in singles.
I think I watched you against Jose. Yes. That
Yeah,
match
for sure.
was intense. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Wow.
5
So
sets,
exciting.
I think.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't it cool how players as players we don't ever forget scores or matches? Isn't that cool? It's incredible.
Amazing. I mean, my wife tells me that I don't have a memory because I don't remember anything. But when it comes to tennis, everything.
I remember everything. I remember every single match. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's because we loved it. That's because we love it. I mean, that's the passion that we were talking about before.
I know. It's incredible. So is there something that you would have changed in your career or any advice that you would have given little Nico?
Well, I think there's always things that you can improve. I think I could have maybe started working even harder when I was 18 or 19. But you know, everything comes with different stages of your life. And maybe, you know, one thing that I see nowadays and I remember from my days is that we as South Americans, we always went to dinner a bit late. You know, so I remember we get together at the hotel at around 8:39. We will go out for dinner, and you will see the Australians and the Americans already coming back from dinner. So we will go out, we come back late, and then you end up going to bed, you know, a bit later. So maybe I would change that.
That's great. Your advice to young Nico would be go to bed earlier.
100%. I mean, we were not going out for party or anything, just dinner. But you know, coming back from dinner at 10:30, 11, you won't go to bed before 12. So that's probably one thing I would change.
I hope you're serving your kids dinner early then, huh? Earlier.
Oh, 6:37.
like a good American. Bueno, you know,
100%.
You know who I'm wishing to really talk to, who was one of my other heroes of watching him play in clay. I'm sure you have to know this person, and you played doubles with him, and you were really good.
Guga?
Yes, I'm dying. I've never ever talked to him. Is he cool enough?
He's a great guy. He's amazing.
Is he your age?
Guga,
He's the same age?
Same age, yeah. We grew up together, same age. First time we played each other was at the 14th Orange Bowl in UM, actually.
Wow,
the high
so
courts
cool.
of UM. And since then we became really close friends, and he's a great guy. Just the way you see him when he speaks, that's him. That's natural.
He's amazing. How many times didn't we joke about his grunt when we would play?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
It's been a pleasure, Laura. I really had a lot of fun. And hopefully we get to see you and your family soon. And say hello to all of them, to your parents, to Danny, and to everyone.
I will. I'll see you soon, hopefully in Miami when we can travel sometime. Yeah?
Hopefully, yeah.
Sure. Or in Spain. Okay. Now I know that you go to Ibiza.
Yeah, I'm always there.